going on?
David, I'll knock the hard-hitting stuff out of the way early. Did you see what Joker wore to the arena?
No.
It's like a Joker suit, like the purple and green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so follow up on the important stuff. Is he the type to make a statement with what he wears?
Not that I remember. But you should ask him that question. I'm not part of how he dresses every day. That's pretty cool, though.
Coach, obviously the game one, game two, vastly different environments, vastly different scenarios and situations for your team. Just what are you hoping the team flushes from game two, and what are you hoping that they take from it?
Well, environment will be different. I mean, we're here, which is nice. Yeah, you can't ignore game one because there were positives there of why we stayed in the game. But the first half of game one was the whole game of game two. The aggression, the mistakes with the ball, spacing, patience to execute, which I feel like I've talked about a lot in the playoffs. But we're back home, and you hope that, you kind of balances you out a little bit. We had 2 days or whatever, a day and a half to, talk yesterday, talk today, get ourselves back to where we need to be. And I think the most important thing, as I keep saying it, is just like turning the page the right way, being responsible about what you've done in the first 2 games. Like I said, trying to carry the positive stuff to game 3 and making sure that our awareness to what they were like from the tip is much higher and very different. So it's 1-1. I'm really excited for this I'm excited for the game, excited for the fans. I mean, Friday night, it's going to be sweet. So I'm really, really hyped for the environment, but also hyped for our guys. That's like I said yesterday. I feel like I've talked to you guys like 8 times since game 2. It's a new game, and it's a chance to just bring a new energy to what we're trying to accomplish in the series. And this will be its own thing, like I've said, and I'm excited to get started.
You talked a little bit about bringing the first punch rather than responding. Christian seems to be the guy. Like, he brings that first punch. You guys are a different team. How do you make sure Christian is like ready to go and just physicality and raring after the seams right to the tip?
He's ready. They're all ready, and I thought it was pretty abstract for us to not be ready in game 2, but you give them credit as well. I mean, they punched us multiple times. So I think all the men in that room, from what I saw in the film session yesterday, and like I said, the walkthrough today, there was a hyper focus to what we're about to go do. Does that mean you're going to win the game? No, but that's a professional approach to a high-level NBA playoff game. So excited to see our reaction to what happened down there.
Lou Dort is obviously extremely savvy at drawing the illegal screen. I'm curious, going into this series, if there's anything that you kind of tell your screeners in particular about trying to avoid the trappings of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are foul artists on both ends. I'm not concerned about us if he's going to get 1 a game or whatever it is. You just hope that if they're calling that, maybe they'll take a look at how he's guarding Jamal. Because there's 2 sides to that. There's the illegal screen part of it, and there's the holding, grabbing part of it. So if they're both called the same way, hey, fair game. I thought KCP was always like that. He would get that call, but sometimes, they would even that thing out, and there was pulling and grabbing, and Pope was incredible at it. So it goes both ways, and Jamal has to fight through the physicality. He's got to do a better job setting up Dort so we can get a proper hit on him. But Lou Dort is a unbelievable high-level defender. The effort he gives out there is incredible. So we'll do the best job we can of making sure that we get a hit legally on him.
Coach, last game notwithstanding, what's your theory on why home court doesn't seem to be as valuable as it used to?
It's a great question. It's funny. I think it might be the three-point line. I really do. I think it's the great equalizer right now in our game. I also think that's why you see more blowouts in the playoffs, because there's teams that you can get hot and make 20, 22 threes. People are so into that. It can get out of control very quickly. And I don't know why, but I feel like this generation of players, maybe it's the way they grew up playing AAU and traveling all over the place and playing, they're less likely to feel as much anxiety on the road. Not to mention, man, I've said this before, growing up in this, we used to play in college stadiums in the playoffs back in the day, and now we play in these beautiful modern arenas that aren't as loud. They're not. So that used to be a major impact factor. When you'd go play at the Salt Palace or Memorial in Portland or Phoenix or old Chicago Stadium, all those things. It felt very different. I felt like a college atmosphere. So still great environments, just a different feel.
David, we've talked a lot about X-Files in these playoffs.
Yeah.
You've never really kind of experienced a loss just as a head coach, like, game two.
Game 3 in LA was.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
What is your personal kind of, how does that sit with you, mentally? What are you doing kind of behind the scenes in the moments that nobody sees to sort of cope with that and bounce back from it personally?
It's just a loss. I know that they broke records or whatever, but it's 1-1. I didn't feel embarrassment. I felt like they played great and we played bad, and it's sports, and sometimes that happens. For me, mentally, I don't know, man. I just do what I do. I go home and hang out with my kids, meet a buddy, grab a beer. I don't know. I do what normal people do, with the caveat that I need to work hard and watch tape and make sure we're prepared. But this is a big deal. It's the playoffs. But when you leave this arena or you leave a film session, you have to check out. You have to, mentally. If you can't do that, you're not going to perform well as a coach or a player or whoever has a responsibility in the next game. So, the mental health thing is a big deal. X-Files is awesome, I agree. I don't know. You just have to check out for a second. You really do. There's so many times where you're checking out and you go, I really want to go back and watch this film again. But you got to take the time and you got to take a couple hours and you dive back into it so you can properly look at it professionally, and do the right things.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.